They've done it. They have gotten rid of the need for Photoshop. I can't wait to share with you guys today a new, brand spanking new feature that has just been released as of this morning into Lightroom Classic. It's May 21st, 2024. And what you need to do is go to your Lightroom Classic. You need to use the help menu, go to the help menu up at the top, and you're going to choose updates. And you want to update to version 13.3. Once you've done that, your world is going to change. So what I mean is there's a brand new tool which is called Generative Remove. It's in your Remove tool, but let me show you where it is. All right, so I'm gonna zoom out here. I'm gonna take this image into the develop module. I did wanna point out to you guys really quick before we get started, I have compiled all of these 10 images that I'm gonna be working on today, and I have put them in a download so that you can follow along step by step with me. So it's super important to make sure that you use the link in the description to download all of these files, and you can see for yourself how incredible this new technology is in Lightroom Classic. And I guarantee you, it is going to eradicate the need for you to go to Photoshop to do advanced retouching and object removal. All right. So again, you're going to create an account, download the assets, and then follow along this video with me. All right, so here's our first image. Now I'm recording this on the pre-release, but you're gonna go to your help menu inside Lightroom Classic. You're gonna go to updates, you're gonna check for updates and make sure you download the newest thing. Give it 24 hours, guys. They roll this out little by little around the globe. So you might just not have the update just yet, but give it 24 hours. All right, so within here, we have our new features here, and you'll see that this is an early access feature. It's called Generative Remove, and it is integrating generative AI technology or Adobe Firefly technology into Lightroom Classic. Yes, I said it. We are not going to have to go to Photoshop anymore for object removal. You also have the option for object aware, so I'm going to talk about both of these things. But the generative AI is incredible. All right. I'm just going to make my eraser tool. It's called an eraser tool. I'm just going to make it a little bit larger than this branch that we have across the top here. And I'm going to go ahead and encompass this branch that I would like to remove. Now we have this new box that pops up. Okay, so this is our mask refinement area. And you can add to the green area that you want to remove, or you could subtract from the green area that you want to remove as well. So you have those two brushes. We're familiar with those brushes from our other masking features. So I'm gonna go over to subtract, and I'm just gonna try to just make this a little bit less extreme. All right, now I'd like to switch over to add as my option here. I'm gonna make my brush smaller using the bracket keys, and then I'm going to include these little hanging branches that are coming off of this little thing right here, okay? And so now that I have this perfect selection, I'm gonna go ahead and hit apply. Okay, right over here, let's go ahead and click apply and wait for it. Bam, it's done. And it's so exciting. All right, so we have one, but let's see, I'm gonna hit the backslash button and you're gonna see the change that we were able to make. Don't worry about the little green thing in the bottom. That was from a previous demo. But oh my word, that is a great, great removal. Okay, so this is Generative Remove technology. It's brand new today. This isn't the only one that we have though. We have 3 variations, and those variations can be found right over here within the remove box. So if I come in here, you can see we've got our variations. We have 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. And oh my gosh, they are all good. This is gonna change the way we all retouch our photographs, mark my words. Okay, I'm gonna come down here and I wanna talk a little bit about object aware. So object aware is the select object technology that we might be familiar with in Photoshop, but it's now being integrated into Lightroom Classic, and there's two ways to use it. So the first thing that I wanna do is activate object aware, and I'm gonna make my brush really big. And I am going to click once. I want to make it really big to almost encompass the object that I'm trying to remove. And I click once and there we go. The background has been selected. All right, but let's go ahead and cancel this. Let me see if I make it bigger, if it's going to get that strap as well. One click right there, and it gets better. It gets better and gets better. Now, you do have this mask refinement area, like I just said, so you could come in here and you could add in this little area right there, but I'm gonna show you a different method that also works when you have object aware activated. Now, the keyboard shortcut for activating and deactivating object aware is going to be Command or Control plus F. That's going to turn on and off object aware. And then if you want to turn on and off generative AI, Command or Control plus G is going to turn that on and off as well. So the other method when it comes to object aware is just circling that object. All right, so just painting over the outline of it. So let me try that right now. So with object aware active, I'm going to go ahead and just make a selection around the backpack, making sure that I include all of the backpack plus the shadow that the backpack is casting on the ground. And now when I snap off of it, it's going to automatically fill in that inner area. And so you're going to be able to just get a really nice result straight out of the bat. All right, there are some adjustments that I want to make though here. I would like to include a little bit of the shadow over here, and I want to erase some of the blanket that she's wearing. So I'm gonna click over to my subtract mode for the brush. I'll make my brush a little bit smaller, and then I'm gonna come in here and just go over this area. Now, an important tip is that you do need to make sure that the entire item that you're trying to remove is indeed encompassed by this overlay. If it's not, and you miss a section of it, you're gonna end up with things that are called hallucinations, because Lightroom or the generative AI technology is going to try to create some sort of realistic possibility of why that little teeny tiny bit of that yellow backpack is there. And it's probably going to create a hallucination of some sort in that area for you. So you really want to make sure that your selection has completely encompassed the entire thing that you're trying to remove. So that's one tip. Now that I have this backpack gone, I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. Boom. All right, so we have version 1, we have variation 2, and variation 3. 1, 2, 3. We are in Lightroom, guys. Lightroom Classic. You guys get me, right? This is absolutely amazing. Every time I've tried to stump it, it has worked. Let's keep going. I want to show you really quickly some other features of this. We've got this image here. Let's go over to develop, and we're going to activate our remove tool. And now with object aware selected, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a very loose selection around this guy here. All right, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see, is it going to work? Let's see what it gives me. All right, let's do that. And there we go. So there's our selection. I'm not thrilled with it around the edges here. Another really helpful tip is that if you're trying to remove something on an image that you've already cropped in, you want to actually do this technology before you do the crop. Because remember, a crop in Lightroom Classic is actually non-destructive, and you can change that crop. It doesn't delete the pixels, right? It's never going to do that until you export that file. So that information, while you can't see it because it's cropped off of the border, it's still technically there in the image. So do the object removal first and then do your crop. But I do have some refinements that I want to do here. For example, like here, it's way too close for comfort to the thing that I'm trying to remove. So I need to add a little bit of buffer there, and also up there. All right, so I'm gonna use my add brush and I'm gonna just give myself a little bit of buffer there, a little bit of buffer there, and the shoe that was forgotten. All right, so let's try that. Let's go ahead and hit apply. Now, if you wanted to skip the step of refining your area for the removal, you can do that by holding down Command or Control while you're painting your selected area. Or they call it erasing, but I think it's more selecting what you want to remove because it doesn't remove it, it doesn't erase it in that step, but you know, I digress. Okay, so here we go. We've got version 1, version 2, and version 3. And if you look specifically at version 2, it's creating some artifacting around the plane. So what that means is that my selection inadvertently included some of that plane. The really cool thing about this tech is that I'm gonna hit H to bring back my pinpoint access points, is that I can hit the refine button. That's gonna bring back my mask, so it's like I'm going back in time. I can zoom in, I can activate my subtract brush, and I'm gonna come in here and just subtract that part of the plane that I do not want to be removed. And then I can go back and apply. And there we go. If I zoom out and then hit H, you can see that the plane is intact, but we were able to completely remove the guy from the image and we get a phenomenal result. 1, 2, and 3. We don't get one phenomenal result. We get 3. Okay? This is crazy. I'm gobsmacked by how incredible this technology honestly is. So that's just a little bit of what this can do. Let's move on because I want to show you 1 or 2 other things. So you can see here, let's go to this image that we have. We've got some crazy flyaways going on, and I can tell you personally, flyaways are the bane of my existence, okay? As a portrait photographer, I loathe them. So we'll take this into develop and we'll go to our remove tool again. And let's turn off object aware. So that is Command or Control F. And then I'm gonna come in here and I'm going to go over all of the messy flyaways that I want to remove. I am keeping in mind that it's extremely important for me to encompass every last flyaway hair that I would like to remove, okay? So just keep that in mind because this is going to be an important element for you to remember while using this new technology, okay? I'm going to go ahead and press OK, and now it's going to generate. And what's really nice about these little windows is that they give you helpful tips that are going to make your life easier while using this tool. So you should read them. Don't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs and check your phone. All right, so we've got 1. So we have our before and our after, our before and our after. But here's the nice thing. Because I did 3 different sections, I'm able to get 3 different variations for each section of the generative remove in one step. So talk about time saving. I mean, come on. So we've got this area here. I'm going to activate this area and then I'm going to go through my variations for that one. 1, 2, 3. So I think I like 3 the best. I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to go through those cycle 1, 2, and 3. 1 is the best, I guess, for right now. And then I have this one, this big one, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I think I like 3 the best. So if I hit H and I hit the backslash key, a significant improvement on those flyaway hairs. And the nice thing is that you're able to do multiple removes in the same step, okay? And remember that each one of these can be refined after the fact. So if we want to go back and do, let's hit our H key and let's hit refine. If we want to go back and adjust our masking, we can. Super easy, easy as pie. If we want to, let me go back here, click on this one, activate that one, and refine that one, or we can refresh that one to give us 3 more versions if we weren't happy with any of those 3. So with this one, let's go ahead and hit refresh, and we're just gonna refresh that one and see if we get any better results. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3. I like that one. Yep, glad I did it. The last tip on this image that I want to give you guys is that if there is like an additional area that you want to just make look better, you can go ahead and the problem is like, you can see here, there's no real way for me to start in this little area because there are other ones there. So if you start, let me see. Okay, so if we have this one here, cancel. If we have this one here, you can actually start off of this one and then drag in, and you can go ahead and get rid of those flyaways up there in that way, okay? And then once you've done that, you can go to your mask refinement after this window pops up, choose subtract, and you can subtract the areas that you don't need. But if you're ever trying to do a second generative AI remove over an initial one, that's how you do it. Just start on the outside and then just weave your way in, and then in the next step, you can erase that part. So we can go ahead and apply that. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. That looks nice. All right, so I'm happy with that. Our before and our after, huge improvement on those flyaways. Didn't have to go into Photoshop at all. Amazed. All right, so I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 more. Let's do 4 more examples, okay? I want you guys to follow along with me on all of these. Let's bring this into develop. Let's activate our remove tool. And I'm gonna keep object aware off for this one. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna just paint over this hot spot. This has been something that I've never been able to remove in Lightroom. I have tried every single method you could think of, and it was beyond Lightroom's abilities, Lightroom Classic's abilities, up until today, okay? So if we look here, we've got version 1, we have version 2, and we have version 3. All of those are better than the original, and it even created a realistic rim of that button. If it didn't create a realistic blend of that button, what I would have done is I would have come into the refine and then used my subtract brush to come in here and just remove part of that button from the area that needs to be generative removed, and then hit apply again, and it will do its magic again. This is truly magic. One other thing to keep in mind when using this tech is that it does not play well with the lens blur features that Lightroom Classic has and Lightroom has. You're gonna have to turn off the lens blur stuff before you can use this. They don't play nicely, okay? That's all I can say about this. All right, let's go to this image. Let's come in here. Let's choose our remove tool, and let's go over this big distracting hot spot right behind her head. All right, let's hit apply. I want you guys to follow along with all these images and watch how they work. So it's really important to download those files so that you can see the magic for yourself. Please do it. You're gonna be absolutely amazed. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Amazing results. Let's go to this image because I would like to remove this branch, which is very close to the bird and overlaps over other branches as well. So let's try this one out. So I'm gonna do the remove tool, but I am gonna activate object aware. I just think it'll make my life a little bit easier. I'm gonna come in here and paint over this branch and all of its little areas where it kind of comes off. Okay, it's gonna do its magic. I'm gonna now add to this. And you can see I'm going across other branches as well. I am trying to make a point of making sure that the entire branch that I'm trying to remove is encompassed. You can see here it wasn't encompassed, and over here it wasn't encompassed. And now let me go to the subtract and just bring back as much of this bird as I can. Okay, so this one is a bit of a more advanced mask, if you could even call it that. Okay, so let me subtract from here. All right, so here we go. Let's hit apply. Boom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It truly is absolutely astonishing. So let's see how it works on glasses glare. I've got this image here. So we'll come in here, and glasses glare is usually one of the biggest banes of my existence as well. Second to flyaway hairs, glasses glare, because I do a lot of portraits. So I'm gonna zoom in here. I do wanna make sure that I warn you guys, whatever's gonna be created under this area where you put the generative AI over is gonna be new pixels generated from scratch. So because of that, I wanna make sure that I avoid the iris of my client as much as humanly possible. So let's go ahead and come in here, and I'm gonna just paint over this area. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead and hit apply. Okay, and there is 1, 2, and 3. Let me hide the pinpoint. 1, 2, and 3. Amazing tech. I wanted to bring it to you guys here first. Share this video with your friends. If you've learned something, and I know every single one of you has learned something because this is brand new as of today, like this video, comment below, make sure it goes viral. Everybody needs to know about this new tech. Share it with your friends, please. And remember that you can download all of these files. All you need to do is go to sharkpixel.com/6, the number 6, and you will be able to download all of these demo files and try this incredible technology out for yourself. It's literally game changing. It's gonna change the way I retouch. I'm not going into Photoshop for almost anything anymore unless I'm doing composites, right? But for the most part, this is going to change the way we all retouch our photos. I'm so glad to be one of the first people to bring it to you, and I hope that you've enjoyed this. And again, subscribe, like, comment, share to the world. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you on the next course.